Welcome to episode 2 of Paws in Play. We are here in Sutton Park in Sutton Coldfield to talk to our next guest. Sophie, who have we got?
We are talking to Scotland and Aston Villa player Kirsty Hanson, and I'm really looking forward to this one.
Me too. Now, let's go find her and her four-legged friend. Friend already. Loving it.
Yeah, it looks beautiful. You people.
Oh, Hugo. Welcome to the podcast. Have you done a podcast before?
Yeah, just for my friend.
Okay. I thought we might be making a debut. Well, Kirsty, thank you so much for joining us today. Before we get started, for our listeners' benefit, please can you introduce your four-legged friend?
Yeah, this is Hugo. He's a working Cocker Spaniel and he's 3 years old. So yeah, and he's my best friend.
Oh, is this where you guys normally come for a walk?
Yeah, because I think this is the only place I trust him off the lead as well, and obviously because he's a working dog, he needs a lot to literally get a lot of energy out of him, so this is the only place I let him off. There's just so many different paths and smells for him.
Well, as I was saying to you just there, you said you listened to the first episode. I know you engaged with some of the stuff we put up with episode 1 of Paws in Play.
Yeah.
Is it something that the mental health conversation, is it something you feel is important and needs to be regularly discussed and not just something that crops up?
Yeah, definitely. I've done a podcast before with my friend about mental health, and I think it's something that's massive in football, which still needs work on, I think. And I'm someone who's worked with a psychologist in the past, so it's something that's been good for me as well.
Yeah. What did you think of the first episode?
I really liked it.
Yeah.
It was something different, and I obviously love dogs, so it was nice to see other dogs involved. And yeah, it was quite eye-opening coming from a manager as well, like Rianne.
Yeah.
Because you don't realise what it's like to be as a manager.
I was going to say, thanks for that, Hugo. We should definitely add some of that into the edit. Now that we're all covered in mud, he's gone. And yeah, no, I think that's actually quite nice, getting the different angles, right? The different...
especially when she said, I was thinking about this, that especially when she's having a tough day or a tough week, tough month, she's got to go into work every day and hide it. Whereas us as players, I think, like me especially, if I'm having a bad day, I do try hide it, but then if something happens in the session, I literally just cry. And managers can't do that.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh yeah, that's actually true. I don't realise because they can't go into work and say they're having a bad day because it'll affect the players.
Yeah.
Which you don't actually realise. He's a bit like me, Hugo is.
What, are we expecting you to just disappear now?
No, not disappear. I mean, I might do.
Oh, she's gone, hang on.
I was just going to ask about that kind of the mental side of the game. We always focus, I guess, on the physical side a lot more. So when did you really realise about the kind of need to look after your mental health?
I think it was, obviously I went to Manchester United, which was my proper professional environment. And I think the first few years I was okay. I think I was just so excited with it all, enjoying it. And then I think it's when we got in the WSL properly and it started getting obviously bigger. I was like, oh, something's I started getting in my head more, and I was like, oh, something's a bit weird here. I'd go home and I'd always think about football non-stop, and I was like, we had a psychologist at United. I worked with her, but I'm friend with all the staff, so I just used her as a chat. And then she was like, do you think you should speak to someone? I was like, oh, I mean, there's nothing, I'm not down or anything, but I think it was obviously getting to me. I just started really maybe getting just hiding myself away and just letting football take over, and maybe not want to see anyone and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, maybe I should. So I think that's where I got in contact with, was it Sporting Wellness, and they got me in touch with PFA, and the things we spoke about I got a psychologist I worked with I think it was for a few months or something, and some of the things might not work, but then we did some different strategies, things to work on outside of football, to obviously take my mind away from football when I'm not in the training centre. And I think we went through a few things. I started colouring. I bought plants to maybe
God,
look
that's
after. But I think the biggest thing was I've always wanted a dog.
Yeah.
Like the top of my Christmas list since childhood is dog, birthday dog. And my dad's allergic to dogs, so I was like, oh, I can't get one. And then I had my own house at Man United and I was like, well, speaking to a psychologist, I think a dog will be massive for me. Like, they'll just have me something else to focus on. And it has. I literally got him, and I mean, don't get me wrong, puppy stage was very hard. I was questioning, am I okay for this? But yeah, now it's just amazing. It's like, I've got to have something else to focus on away from football. And also he gets me out of the house, which is so important. I don't think you realise, like, just going for a walk, even if it's 10 minutes, it helps so much. And obviously different strategies, like writing down before you go to bed what's gone right, what's gone wrong today, and just work on them things. And as I've got older, I've been able to deal with them more.
Yeah.
I think it was harder when I was younger because I was just like, oh, I'm fine. And then you see more people talk about it and it's like, oh, you know what? I'm comfortable now with speaking more about it. And I think that's what more people should do. And it's like so much better when more people talk about it, because you see younger ones coming up now and you can see they've got maybe just like a confidence issue or something. And that's why I'm always someone who helps younger ones, because I know what it's like.
Yeah.
In terms of like the higher pressure environment such as football, where everything is quite high stakes, especially these days in the league with the professionalisation of it all.
Yeah.
Kind of that side of it, I think football maybe hasn't always paid attention to.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say so?
Yeah, I think people just think it looks good. Obviously it's a dream to do football every day in, day out.
Yeah.
Which many people can't do, and they're like, they should feel privileged to do it. Like, don't get me wrong, we are, but it's really tough mentally. Just being able to like get yourself out of bed if you can't, and going in every day, you've got different challenges, and then if you don't perform at a weekend, like, you don't do it on purpose, and I feel like people should understand that we're humans. Mm-hmm. But you see like comments. I've started to like just hide away from comments, but when I was maybe less experienced, I'd read the comments, and it's just not nice, and there's no need. But that'll always happen. But it's like you've just got to like try, just ignore them and just not read them, because people don't understand that we are humans as well. We're not performing well on purpose.
Yeah.
There's obviously, we're maybe just having a hard day, or it's just not going right for us today. But you just got to be nicer to one another, and you'll get hopefully better performances from us, hopefully. But yeah, it's a big thing in sport especially.
Yeah. Like, you have your everyday issues like everybody else.
Yeah.
Then on top of that, you're in high stakes environment, and with the growth of the game, way more eyes on every match, way more people on social media. I mean, you touched on it there, going professional in that professional environment.
Yeah.
All of that happens in such a short space of time.
Yeah.
And then is that conversation about how do you manage that mentally? Is it ever had, or is it just kind of you just have to learn to adapt until you decide, actually, I need to think about this?
Yeah. Yeah, because you actually probably don't you don't get, not like taught, but you don't get taught how to deal with it, or when you feel like maybe you need help. But yeah, I think a lot of us has probably learnt to adapt, to, oh, maybe there is something wrong. I'll do this and go speak to someone. But some people just keep ignoring it, keep pushing it to a side until they get to breaking point, which shouldn't really happen.
Yeah. You mentioned Sporting Wellness and the PFA. Yeah. What kind of support did they offer you when you went to them?
They straight away got me in contact with a number. Did I ring them up, have an email, have a call of what's my issue? And I was like, oh, it's not really a big issue, but it's just obviously struggling with stuff off the pitch, on the pitch, and it's taken me onto the pitch, and it's just my confidence, etc. And then they were like, okay, we've got someone we can talk to. So then they got in contact with me, and then straight away had calls like every few weeks. And even if it didn't, I think people need to realise that it might not work out first time, but if you just keep trying or stick with it, you'll realise that it is a big help. Like, I think like the first call I was like, oh, I don't know if I need this. And then I was like, but I need to stick at it because see what happens. And the things we spoke about was like different techniques, different strategies to help you offload, obviously onto like writing stuff down and stuff, which maybe just a little thing, but it did help. And as well as lem strategies, it's just using people around you.
Yeah.
Because they'll listen as well, and they'll help you, and they'll take you out for a coffee or whatever, and it really does help.
Yeah.
And I'm not in a high performance environment, but I've been seeing someone for 10 years, and there are weeks where I have nothing to say.
Yeah.
But I still do it every week.
Yeah.
Just to make sure there's like a plaster over there, or like I'm still fixing it.
Consistent conversation. Like, we've talked about this where, you know, it's a bit like finding a personal trainer.
Yeah.
And like, not every personal trainer works, or
Yeah.
you know, maybe the way they do things you're not mad about, but
Yeah.
like, you'll eventually find someone where you think,
Yeah.
this works for me. And that
They're
was a
my
bit like,
person.
you were a bit like that where
Yeah.
once you find them then,
Yeah, exactly.
and once you work out what works for you,
Yeah.
and I guess.
And not putting pressure on situations, I guess, as well.
No, exactly. Yeah.
And then I guess the other thing you have to deal with as a high performance athlete is when an injury happens. Mm-hmm. And that's a whole nother
Yeah.
level of, you're then out of the environment you're normally in.
Yeah.
You've suddenly got this goal of getting fit again,
Yeah.
knowing the kind of journey you have to go on. What's that like?
Yeah, that is tough. I've only had like an ankle injury or like a few like muscle injuries, but they've always seemed to come at a bad time.
Yeah.
And that's what you need to be like, oh. I think as I've got older, I've just thought I've managed to deal with it. But when I got my first injury when I was younger, I was like, well, luckily United had a good psychologist, so that helped, worked with her as well. But it was tough, obviously, because you don't actually realise, even if you're in the training centre, you don't actually see your teammates that much. You'll probably come in earlier or later than everyone else. You'll probably maybe see them for lunch, but we've got to go do another session after.
Yeah.
And the amount of stuff you have to do in rehab is just so tough, and like the amount of exercises you have to do, it's very repetitive, and it's like, how are you meant to keep doing that and keep like obviously keep focused and just
Turning up every day.
yeah,
and-
exactly. It's, yeah.
Oh, he's
good boy.
good. He's
Thank
good.
you.
He's a good boy.
There we go. But it still has been tough, I think, because when you're around other people injured, you're like, they're not moaning, so I shouldn't moan. So I just like tend to just try to keep positive in my mind, even though it's really hard.
I guess that's like the beauty and the difficulty of team sport as well, right? Because, as you say, it's lonely when you're injured and you're like, you're not with the team.
Yeah.
But then you also are still part of that collective
Yeah.
nature. So it's trying to find that balance between the two.
Yeah, exactly. I think because obviously, if I do have a chance to see them around the building, I'm like, oh, how's training been? And I'm like, oh yeah, keep working hard, blah blah blah. And then when they ask, oh, how are you? And I'm like, oh, that's nice. I can maybe say, oh yeah, it's all right. It's a bit hard. And then someone might say something like, oh, do you want to go for a coffee? And it's like, if I didn't have that conversation, it might not have happened.
Yeah.
And I'd be just sat at home again, like trying to keep positive.
Thinking about the next session.
Yeah, you just got to keep doing your job as a professional, if that includes just switching off, making sure you have lots of sleep, lots of recovery, and just focus more on that in the
And the dog.
process.
Yeah, and the dog.
Something that Rianne said.
Cuddles with the dog.
Yeah, something she said when we were having that chat was about how it doesn't really matter all the things that could happen during the day, and you come home, the dog still needs to be walked.
Yeah,
And it's supposed to be like really grounding and just be like, I can just forget everything else. I need to
Yeah.
go.
That does make everything better, actually.
Oh,
No matter how bad or good of a day you've had,
yeah.
he's literally always wagging his tail at the door. He's like, need a walk, need to be fed.
Delighted
I'm
with
like,
love.
no matter what, oh yes, I'll do that. And then it's actually great once maybe you need a walk at the end of the day. I mean, sometimes he does test me, which I don't need, but yeah.
Done enough running now.
Yeah, I know. But it actually, even though it does test me, it does take my mind off football and everything else.
In terms of, I guess, when you look back at the last couple of seasons, we talk about tricky times. I imagine it wasn't the easiest time at Aston Villa last year.
Yeah.
And maybe now you're probably more one of the leaders of the group. How did you take on that kind of responsibility, having been at the club for a while and, you know, trying to manage and balance things out?
Yeah, last season it was really tough, the relegation battle. But I did believe in the back of my head we'll come out of it. But obviously there was I think there was a certain game we needed to beat Crystal Palace and we didn't. And I was like, oh, okay, this is going to be tough now. And I think that's when there was a point where I started not getting many minutes, and I was like, oh, what am I meant to do here? And I think previously I would probably struggle at that. But I think with more experience I've obviously know how to cope with it. Like, yeah, of course I still get upset and stuff, but I think luckily I have a dog, I have great family and friends around me that helped. And I think I just was like, oh, I just need to keep working hard. Maybe I'll get a chance. And I think, luckily, I don't know what happened, but I came on and I just kept scoring. I was like, this isn't normal. And I was like, wow. And I didn't expect anything. And I was like, oh, come on and score. Maybe I'll start the next game. I didn't. I was like, right, let's just keep working hard like I've been doing, keep my head down. Like, everyone's in a tough situation here. We're all in a relegation battle. Me not starting is the least of anyone's worries. I don't want to affect the team morale as well. So I was like, right, if I come on again, I'll try to do the same. And then luckily somehow scored again. I was like, oh, okay, here we go. We're winning, we're scoring now. And then that Arsenal game was a turning point. We won, was it 5-2? And even when we were 3-0 up, we were like, what's going on? But I think that's what, I think it's because we just kept together and we just all was focused, even though it was really tough. We were all really down and we just tried to keep together, and somehow we somehow won all our games at the end.
It felt from the outside a bit like as soon as you'd managed to secure safety, the pressure sort of came off you and you were able to find that the freedom
and happiness again,
to play the way you wanted to play.
Yeah, exactly. And you could see that in those moments we're obviously really tense, under pressure, and maybe some of us hadn't coped with that before. But yeah, when we started winning, you could see, we can take risks more now. We're hopefully out of the relegation battle, and we were just like the gates opened and we were just enjoying it and just scoring again. And it was just nice to see, because we'd obviously had a lot of negative comments as well on social media, and people would comment on that in the sessions, and they were like, oh, right, some people were like, right, we don't need to read that, come on, let's stick together. And we somehow did, and it all paid off. And I think that was a good experience for a lot of us, because I don't think some maybe haven't have.
Yeah, it's about keeping that
gone through that
outside noise out, isn't it? And we talk a lot about there was that report in the BBC the other day about abuse on social media and the effects of it. And I think it was Kira Walsh with England the other day. He was like, as players, we're really tired of saying more needs to be done. Yeah. So how frustrating is it that things aren't being done to protect you?
Yeah, I think it is, to be honest. You can see, even with other teams, especially the England team actually, because obviously a lot of them comments come up on my feed and I'm like, that's just horrible. And it's like, I bet they're seeing this, and I just don't know why you need to comment on them. Some of them isn't even about performance. It's about their physique or something. I'm like, what is the point? That's nothing to do with anything.
There's a difference between criticism, which, I'm not going to say we welcome criticism, but criticism is part of it. That's part of the game. But there is definitely a clear line between criticism and nastiness. Yeah. And that's definitely increased across the board. Yeah.
When you were playing, I guess, in your early career. Yeah. I guess the changes were so different. The change is so different to where it is now. Yeah. And how do you reflect on? Do you think you learned a lot in those stages, or and that set you up well for now?
Yeah, I think so. I think, I probably didn't think a lot when I was younger. I just thought of it as a hobby, more like. I mean, it still is a hobby, but I didn't really expect me to become a professional at it. So I was just like enjoying it. You obviously have your studies and stuff. So I was just like focusing, just enjoying it really. And then, I had as well experienced players around me who would help me and pick me up if I was having a bad game or stuff. And that's all my worries. And then I think that's helped me because I think I've become like mentally strong through that. Like not just having others around me, but I had myself I just built myself up and helped myself become more, I would probably be able to cope with more on my own.
Yeah, more resilient.
Yeah, more resilient. So I think that's helped me as I've got older.
I'm trying not to stress too much about how you keep saying you're older, because I'm pretty sure you're still significantly younger than us, but never mind.
We're OAPs.
We were just saying this, like within women's football, I think we are. It's because you've got youngsters now coming through that are so young, playing professionally. I guess finally, do you think that it's growing more, that support is growing more in terms of mental health within sport? Do you think there's more to be done? Are we on the right track, do you think?
Yeah, I think definitely we're definitely on the right track. There's obviously more to be done. But I think it's really important to work. I know it's okay to like work with help one-to-one, but I think it's also important to work as a team, because I don't think people know, even though we're such a tight-knit group in every other team and knowing one another, but I don't think you know each other specifically like 100%. Like you don't know if that person's struggling, if that person, what they've been throughout their life. Like I mentioned the last few camps at Scotland, we've done a lot of work of becoming vulnerable as a team, and I think that's really helped us, because people, like I would speak up or someone else would speak up that wouldn't normally speak up, and then after the session we'd all come up to each other and be like, I didn't know you went through this, I didn't know you have, like, you struggle with this. And I think more should be done together. And who you work with.
Hugo's making friends.
I know. I'm going to get told off here.
At least he's coming back this direction.
I know, but I think he's following the dog on the lead. Hugo, come here.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, because, like, you know, we started off this episode reflecting on managers needing that support, different to a player, and then now we're kind of finishing it talking about how a team needs more than what a player needs, and there's just so many different strands to it. Yeah. And I guess it's recognising the importance of, if you've got a bit more of a handle, or if it's something that you're, I guess, keeping on top of, like your fitness, you will become a stronger team, and then ultimately a stronger player, and ideally a stronger human.
I'd never really thought about it before, because you always think about it, it's quite an individual, personal thing, dealing with the way that you think about your mental health and stuff. That's quite personal. Yeah. And actually, that's a really important point. Like, how do you build that collectively as well?
Yeah, exactly.
You've got 23 different players. Look at his paws. Look at his dirty feet. You've got 23 plus different players, different people, plus staff and coaches. Yeah, exactly. All going through their own personal lives or things as well. Yeah. And actually trying to find a way collectively to get through that. Yeah, and understand each other, and understand why on some days, you know, you might be down, or you might have different pressures, or family stuff, or whatever it might be. Yeah.
Well, it's been really insightful, really interesting. Thank you for being vulnerable with us as well. Talking about something I think that's really important and we want to keep talking about. And really appreciate you letting us tag along on what should be an opportunity for you to switch off and not think about football. No. We've made you talk about it. But no, it's been super interesting, and it's really cool to allow us to use your platform as well to speak about it. This is really important.
You're welcome. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to find Hugo.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
Oh dear.